a positive atmosphere this week in training. We were able to recover. We were able to build the players or schedule. Structure the players loading to peak on Sunday. So we're on track for that. Tactically we covered what we need to cover. It was a review of last game and obviously to get ready for a very good opponent. It was ended up being a tight game last week, and we expected the same. It always is against Vancouver. It's a team who will always fight, who will run, who are tactically disciplined, and will have solutions for our defensive organization. So we'll prepare our players for Plan A and B, and in the end, we would like to finish the series out on Sunday.
I don't know if you've seen any images of the parade that's going on, but if you have, or if you haven't, just wondering, just the Dodgers championship, does it conjure any feelings of what you guys did in 22? Any thoughts back to that, and how good it feels to do what you said you wanted to?
Yeah, it's an amazing feat. Congratulations to the Dodgers and to Peter Guber, part of our LAFC family as well. And it's wonderful to see Angelinos happy and proud of their team. And we would love to give them the same in a couple of weeks' time. But we kind of try not to think about it too much. Want to get ahead of ourselves. We are in round one of playoffs, so there's a lot of ground to cover until any sort of ceremony going on. So we'll focus on the next task at hand, which is playing in a difficult environment in Vancouver.
When you know a team as well as you know Vancouver and they know you, is it possible to add wrinkles? Is that even something that you're considering will change here, whatever it is on your side, or do you expect something different from them? How do you make yourself?
It's 100% possible, but it's not possible to restructure your roster. And so even if there are formational changes, it's still the same players. And so, if we can focus on individuals and focus on traits and habits of those individuals, then you have a pretty decent idea of what's going on. Any sort of tactical wrinkles that are thrown into it, we do a good job of managing that in real time, but players as well understand how to adapt to certain spaces and how to prioritize certain areas of the pitch.
Vanny, after the match, said that he thought the second game would be much more open, sort of pedal to the metal. That's my phrasing, but based on what he had said, do you feel that as well? Do you think it'll be an open game? And considering you already played them last year in the exact same situation, how much similarity you consider just based on situational awareness and what you guys are facing?
Well, I think the game could start and end that way. I don't see that happening for 90 minutes, but certainly, depending on the scoreline, things change. So I don't know what's going to happen. I do expect Vancouver to start in an aggressive and in a very front-forward manner. And then what happens after that kind of depends on the players on the field, which is the nice thing. And all scenarios we'll be prepared for them. We've spoken about already. If you get a lead, if you don't get a lead, if you need a goal, and so forth. So it really depends on what happens during the 90 minutes as far as how the tempo gets pushed or lack thereof.
Last one for me. Considering the depth that you have now at this time of the season, obviously you have your core group that you're leaning into, and that seems to have really formed. But knowing that you have these other options, how do you make sure that they get enough time that they're still sharp, but also saying, hey, we have a job to do here, and these are the guys that I'm really leaning into?
Keeping the environment competitive in training, we've tried to do, and I think we've done a good job. Judging by performances in training, it's been excellent. The level has been very high, and everybody has really, as far as I can tell, kind of checked their egos, and everybody's pushing towards the same goal, which is a great situation to find yourselves in postseason. So we are on track. As far as fitness goes for players who don't have as many minutes as other players, that's only things you can do supplementally, but and we do that, but you can never replicate real games. So we feel very confident. Whoever we put on the field is physically ready, even newer players or players who have just come back, like Marlon or Murillo.
Did you share with us how was your Halloween? What did the Cherundolos do?
The Cherundolos were in the school neighborhood where our kids go to school, and very exciting part of town. And we dressed up as a family, went out trick-or-treating, left a bucket of candy at our front door, which I watched closely on the Ring camera, and chimed in periodically. But I think it was a pretty normal but fantastic Halloween for our family. Thank you for asking.
Can I probe a bit deeper and ask what the family dressed up as?
Yeah, so 3 of us made it out as gremlins. And for our younger generation, maybe not a common theme or term, but did get a lot of compliments along the way. A lot of people kind of forgot about the gremlins. And the fourth decided to do her own thing. Very suiting to her personality.
I love it. I just have one question. It's specific. I'm going to throw some numbers at you. Bogusz and Bouanga, they're one of just 4 pairs of teammates with 15 goals in regular season each. The only 2 players who score more goals than them are Messi and Suarez. They both have career highs in assists, most of them to each other. Can you describe their connection, and also how do they sustain that in the playoffs when things tend to be a little bit tighter?
Yeah, so I think traditionally, if you go back at the 7 seasons of LAFC, all of the wingers for LAFC have been very productive. I think that's a product of the individuals that were here, but also a product of our system and the way we train the teams and the way we want to score goals at this club. And both Denis and Maddie have done a fantastic job of adapting their game to our model and have profited from it, as has the team. And so I think it's a little bit of everything, but also on a connectivity level, I think those two have a great understanding of where they are and try to help each other out when they can.
Just health-wise, I know the depth is there, but coming off the last game, you guys are in a good spot. No changes.
Completely healthy. Second time a year where I've been able to have a full roster.
Yeah. How does that feel for you?
Fantastic.
Yeah. Just the options available to you, the things you can do, the way you think about the team, and all of that.
Yeah, you can think about a complete 90 minutes. You can have all options, meaning you can start very offensive and transition to defensive to finish out games, or vice versa. You start conservative and finish offensive. Or you do a mix. And so really having all options allows us to create a match plan for an entire 90 minutes. And have plan Bs and emergency plans in there in case things don't go to plan or if things go very well to plan.
And one more last from me on Marlon. He got his last start, his only start in Vancouver. How do you see him sort of in the mix? I mean, you had the 2 center backs at the back plus Sergei, who was playing sort of in that 3. But your center back depth now is really there for you. So putting people in positions to compete and get those minutes, thinking specifically about Marlon, how do you imagine using him in this match and then the rest of the playoff format?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen he can come in and start. He gives us some real quality in build-up play and figuring out how to play out of pressure. He is a tenacious defender as well. He can play the middle position, but also on the right and left position in a 3 center back formation. So he's quite versatile and very experienced. I've seen very high level this game already in his career, and so we feel very comfortable in all of those positions. And for us, it's about finding the right mix for each opponent and game. He's done an excellent job of playing catch up. At this late in the season is not easy to do, and we've been fortunate enough to give him enough minutes to where he's ready to go if need be. Mm-hmm.
I'll just do last one on Zoom here. Daniel, go ahead, Daniel.
Hey Steve, how are you?
Great, thank you, Daniel.
Yeah. Hey, I was going to ask you, knowing that the goal is to advance to the next round against Vancouver, how beneficial could be for you as a coach to have the team taking the rest between the next round, or against comparing with the official real game time, the rhythm and all that. And is that more beneficial for you to complete it, or everybody bringing the Dodgers subject is today, or the Dodgers to instead of come back home and finish the leg in here at home? And just one more tip for you for the next year custom for the family and the whole organization. It would be great to dress up as a MLS Cup champions, right?
Sure, but that wouldn't be in costume then. That would be the real me, I guess, if we're so lucky. But to answer your question, I'm not sure we have a preference. I think there's ample break afterwards due to the international window. For us specifically, because we do have some national team players who will be traveling, as of today, that could change. it would be beneficial to have a little more break for them, and more specifically for those players, because they've been doing this all season. Every time we do get a little mini break in the MLS, those players go and play for their respective countries. And so yeah, I think having a break would be a little beneficial. It also gives us coaches a chance to, throw a little mini preseason at the players and go through your principles of play and habits and behaviors on the field.